So I finally got a chance to check out the new Captain America movie tonight, and it lived up to all of my expectations. Overall, I would probably put it up there with the likes of the Dark Knight trilogy, Spider-Man 2, and Captain America Winter Soldier as being some of my favorite superhero movies of all time. But before I get into the reasoning behind that, there are going to be some spoilers in this review, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, you may not want to watch this review quite yet. There's also not really going to be any Easter eggs discussed in the film just because I really just recently got into the Civil War comic arc, so I'm not too familiar with a lot of Easter eggs that probably popped up in the film. So probably later on, after I see the video, after I see the movie another time or so, I'll probably do a video completely dedicated to Civil War Easter eggs. Now, going into the actual movie itself, just the plot, starting with the plot line, there were obviously some deviations from the comic book adaptation of Civil War and the big screen adaptation. The reason behind that is obviously Marvel doesn't own all the characters that were in the comic book version, the Fantastic Four, X-Men, to name a few. So they didn't do the Nitro, Connecticut incident. They instead replaced it with Scarlet Witch in Nigeria, trying to save Captain America's life. She ended up actually killing a bunch of other people. And so that kind of is the background information for the Registration Act that is the main thing that obviously causes this big rift and this big civil war. The Russo brothers, this is their second MCU film that they've directed, and Winter Soldier, if you guys saw Winter Soldier, you'll know that the movie honestly didn't really feel like a superhero movie. It felt like an actual kind of political thriller spy movie. And you get a similar vibe from this movie as well, along with these kick-ass fight, cinematic, choreographic experiences. You get a lot of it actually feels like a real life situation, and it really makes you question. They did a good job of making you question whether or not the person that you thought was a good guy was actually a good guy. And actually, in this movie, that line between good and bad is really, really blurred, and it's hard to tell the difference between. Even the main bad guy, or the guy who's supposed to be the main villain in this movie, who was Daniel Bruhl's character, Baron Zemo, who actually did a really good job. But even his character, at the end of the movie, you're left wondering, was he really a bad guy, or was he just doing what he thought was right, getting revenge, for his family after the Avengers kind of operated with no legal bounds in Sokovia and got his family killed? Really made you question whether or not they were in the wrong or were they in the right to operate and things like that. And a lot of times, or a lot of people, I'm sure, probably switched from like Captain America to Team Iron Man after the whole thing with finding out that Bucky ended up killing Tony's parents. And a lot of people probably made an opposite switch as well if they found out some other things from the movie. So there was an interesting ethical question that the Russo brothers did a good job of bringing up. I talked about the fight scenes like a couple minutes ago, and the fight scenes were really awesome. Now, if you know anything about the Russo brothers, they can do fight scenes really good. They did some good fight scenes in Winter Soldier, and they also did some good fight scenes in this movie. Matter of fact, like every fight scene was badass. From Scarlet Witch's fight scenes to Black Widow's fight scenes to Black Panther going up against Bucky. It was all really well done, and some of the best fight scenes that I've seen in a Marvel movie to date. Now, the main star who actually didn't get the most time on screen, Spider-Man, who I'm sure most people were really excited to see back in the Marvel universe, he actually was really portrayed well by Tom Holland, in my opinion. I'm a little biased because I grew up with Tobey Maguire being Spider-Man, but I thought Tom Holland did a really good job. I think that Spider-Man was actually pretty funny in the movie, added a lot of comic relief to the movie, and he actually contributed in the fight at the airport, which is kind of surprising. I thought that he was really just going to be there for the purpose of the trailer and kind of more like a cameo appearance. But the 30 minutes that he's on screen, you really kind of feel that same connection that if you read the comics, you would have gotten between Tony and Peter, kind of like a father-son relationship. Probably Tony feeling a little guilty for some of the things that he's done, throughout the MCU and just growing up in general. Black Panther also was really badass in this movie. His first appearance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe on screen. He's going to be getting a solo film. I believe it comes out next year or the year after, but I'm really looking forward to that. I thought his fight scenes were excellent. I thought I thought his actor portrayed him really well. And I'm really excited to see where the Marvel Cinematic Universe goes after this. Doctor Strange is obviously coming up later on in the year, so that's going to be starting Marvel Phase 4. And I believe this is actually, or no, Chris Evans has one more movie, I believe, left on his contract. So perhaps the mantle of Captain America is going to be getting passed soon. Probably to the Winter Soldier. I don't know because his actor actually has, I believe, 3 movies left on his contract, and then Robert Downey Jr. is probably going to be the guy who ties everything together, like when we're like in Phase 5 or Phase 6, something like that, and there's going to be this one like Grandpa Iron Man character tying everything together. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about the movie. I personally really loved it. Like I said, looks like it's getting pretty good reviews, unlike Batman v Superman, which was the other big superhero movie that came out earlier this year. So if you guys enjoyed it, let me know in the comment section below. If you've not done so already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and drop a like if you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm out.